You've probably heard people say, "You can always record the police. It's your right." But here's the truth. In some places, that can actually get you arrested. Let's unpack when filming the police is legal and when it could land you in trouble. Hi, I'm Alex, and this is Legal Eagle, where we make the law simple and practical for everyday life. Now, just a quick reminder, I'm not your lawyer, and this video is for educational purposes only. But stick with me, because this will help you understand your rights clearly. And stay safe when it matters most. Let's start with a real story. Imagine this. It's 2021, and a man in Florida is standing on a public sidewalk recording a police traffic stop with his phone. He's not shouting, not getting in the way, just documenting what's happening. Suddenly, he's the one being arrested. The charges? Obstruction of justice. The video evidence later showed he never actually interfered with the officer's work. He was just holding his phone. This case sparked a ton of outrage online, and it's a perfect example of just how confusing and inconsistently applied this law can be. So, what are your actual rights in a situation like this? Here's what the law actually says. In the United States, federal courts have repeatedly ruled that you have a First Amendment right to record public officials performing their duties in public spaces. This includes police officers. It's a cornerstone of transparency and accountability. However, this right isn't absolute. It comes with 3 big conditions that you absolutely need to know to stay out of trouble. First, you must be in a public space where you have a legal right to be. Think sidewalks, public parks, streets. These are generally fair game. If you're on public property and not trespassing, you're usually in the clear. But once you step onto private property, like inside a store, a restaurant, or someone's home, the rules change. The property owner can set their own policies about recording, and if they ask you to stop or leave, you generally have to comply. So, location is key. Second, and this is the most common reason people get into trouble, you cannot interfere with police duties. This is a big one. Interference, or obstruction, can be interpreted very broadly by officers on the scene. It could mean physically getting in the way, blocking their movement, creating a safety hazard, or even distracting them at a critical moment. To avoid this, the best practice is to stay back. Maintain a safe and respectful distance. Some experts suggest at least 10 to 15 feet, but use your best judgment. The goal is to be an observer, not a participant. Stay silent. Don't argue with the officers, and just let your camera do the work. The more you engage, the more likely it is that an officer could claim you're obstructing them. The third condition involves local wiretapping laws, and this is where it gets a bit tricky. These laws are all about recording audio. States are divided into 2 categories: one-party consent and two-party consent, which is sometimes called all-party consent. In a one-party consent state, you only need one person in the conversation to know it's being recorded. And that one person can be you. So, if you're recording your own interaction with an officer, you're generally fine. However, in two-party or all-party consent states, like California, Florida, or Pennsylvania, you technically need everyone's permission to record a private conversation. Now, a police officer performing their duties in public generally has no reasonable expectation of privacy, so their side of the conversation is usually fair game. But what if your microphone picks up a private conversation between 2 bystanders nearby? Or a conversation between an officer and a civilian that you're not a part of? That's where you could potentially run into legal issues. So, it's crucial to know which type of state you're in. So, knowing all that, what are the practical steps you should take if you decide to film an encounter? Here's a simple checklist to keep in mind. First, keep your distance. As we said, at least 10 feet away is a good starting point. Give the officers plenty of room to work. Second, hold your phone steady and make it clear that you are recording. Don't try to hide it. Overtly and openly recording is your best defense against any claims that you were being secretive. Third, stay calm and quiet. Do not yell, don't narrate what's happening, and don't argue with the officers. Your role is to be a silent witness. Let the video speak for itself. Your commentary can be used against you and could be seen as an attempt to incite or interfere. Fourth, if an officer tells you to stop recording, you have a decision to make. You can calmly and respectfully say something like, "Officer, I am peacefully exercising my First Amendment right to record in a public place." Don't get into a debate. State your position clearly and non-confrontationally. And finally, if an officer moves to detain or arrest you, do not resist. Even if you believe the arrest is unlawful, resisting will only add more charges and make your situation much worse. Comply with their orders, and when you have a moment, ask one simple question. Am I free to go? If they say no, you are being detained, and at that point, you should state that you are exercising your right to remain silent and that you want a lawyer. So let's bring it all together. Yes, you generally have a constitutional right to film the police in public. But that right comes with responsibilities. You have to do it from a safe distance without interfering, and while being mindful of your local wiretapping laws. Knowing these rules is the difference between being a helpful citizen, documenting an event, and accidentally landing yourself in a pair of handcuffs. Understanding your rights is the best protection you've got. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and stay safe.